Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to part 9 of F1 2020 Career Mode My Team. And we started this episode off by getting a new sponsor. And we had a little look through the sponsors for a while and cut it short. But we ended up going with a Volo. They offer a 165k payout just for beating your rival. And I was like, okay, not bad. Our new rival, because we beat Magnussen, our new rival is Lando Norris. As we always seem to be flying into him around horrific corners, making him feel really uncomfortable, which in real life I would not like to do that. I love Lando. Lando's one of my favourite drivers right now, him and Georgie Russell. But yeah, he's our rival. We get to beat him up, see if we can beat him in quali, which is going to be really tricky because if I'm bad on a circuit, I'm bad on a circuit. Luckily this week is Canada, and I really like Canada. Canada's a really fun track to drive. It's really fast. It's kind of like Australia. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to learn. It's a really short track as well. So our car flies around the corners. Not so good on the straights. Our power unit's not that fast. The R&D isn't improved at all, really. It's got 1 point of improvement, and it's nothing drastic. I think we're dead last in the power unit supply. We might be tied with Williams in that. But it's got a lot of fast corners, and our aerodynamics are getting better and better and better. So, once we set a banker lap here in our little acclimatization, hitting the barriers, you'll see I already know the track pretty well. I think I do miss a barrier or two on the first go. By the second and third, I nail it. It's pretty simple of where to line yourself up on this track. There's no tricks. It's just fast chicanes. Hit the apex at the hairpin, and you're kind of sorted. Try not to brake. Right, like there, for instance, it's full out. You can go full throttle around that corner. I think it's in fourth gear. It nails it. There's 2 really fast DRS points on this track. One is straight after the hairpin, and you'll see that's a tricky place for you to get taken. So you got to be careful as you approach the last chicane towards the final straight to cross the line. People will get you, and man, do they. As you can see here, lap 3 at 3 of the acclimatization, the barriers, and this is the one tricky bit. I couldn't work out the breaking point with the barriers. I kind of get it with quali, and in the race I definitely get it. So yeah, we set pretty good, to be honest, on the barriers. Get almost the maximum score you can get. Hit a few greens just because hit them at an angle like that, for instance. Not sure why, but is what it is. Cross the line, get some nice R&D points. That's all I really do in practice, to be honest. I don't bother doing all the temperature stuff. You'll see in we are last, but that's okay. I'm actually quite confident around this track. Despite being last, we were on the hard tyres and we were following a barrier, not trying to set a fast lap. But we do have enough R&D points now that we can have a little snoop. So we have a little look at the R&D tree, and you can see most of my effort is being put into, there you go, second to last in aerodynamics. Only our power unit is trash. It's trash. But the chassis is where it's at for upgrades right now. We're getting close to, we're above Haas and Williams, which is good. If we're the third worst team, I'll take that, because that means we can try and get into the points a lot of the time. But yeah, what we actually do is develop a little durability, as I have kind of ignored it, which you shouldn't really do, because we're going to need it. But straight into qualifying, and I'm flying with confidence in this. I'm like, okay, I know this track. In my Bumblebee car, I look like a poor man's Renault. That doesn't matter because it's just the intro season. I'm going to unlock a nice livery and we're going to nail it in the next one. Which, speaking of, I need you guys to let me know, should I do a one-off livery for UK? I think I should. I don't know what it'll be, probably a big Union Jack or something, or the British flag or something like that. But one off livery, and then we'll go back to this one for the rest of the season. I think I should. But yeah, let me know, guys, what you think. Leave a comment down below. But we're going to start our first flying quali lap here. And you can see I'm getting the corners alright. It's not too bad. Let me know if you think I'm doing anything wrong as well. I am playing with the Logitech G29 as well. I'm not using the gear stick, obviously I'm using the flappy paddles, but I think it would be easier on a gamepad. I think the way that suits me, but on the wheel it's obviously more fun. It's not a fanatic wheel like a lot of these YouTubers have. And after the first quali there, that was the fastest lap I set. The reason I haven't put the full laps in is because there's not enough time. It's going to go on for a long time, but we do go 7th, so we get into Q2 there. Not everyone's obviously going the fastest, and a few people here, I believe, are going on the medium tyres, trying to start the race on the medium, some of the bigger boys. So you can see, we go 7th on the softs in the first, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go 7th again. No chance. But what I could do is maybe get into Q3 and start in the top 10. And that's coming into my mind right now because I am flying. There's a couple of corners on here where the AI is actually quite slow. The hairpin exit is one of them. This corner here is one of them. There's a couple of the fast corners. The AI just... I don't know, they just go 0.2 slower. And you just pick up all that time off of them. Other than if, I guess, you're going against Hamilton, Verstappen, like the big boys. Ignore the big boys, the top 3, they're out. The Racing Points, the McLarens, the Renaults, they kind of become an alpha on this track during quali. So we have a real chance to leapfrog them, as we're not the AI. This isn't on, obviously, 110% difficulty. I'll be upping the difficulty every season. And eventually, hopefully, being able to win the title on 100%, 110% AI, that's going to be extremely difficult to do, even in the fastest car. I'm doing it obviously on, I think it's 95%. It's on very hard or whatever. It's just under 100%, which I think is hard enough for me right now. Although setting these quali times in this crappy car, it's going to be pretty easy to upgrade it right now. We come to the final little chicane, a nice exit, DRS open, and we're going to set a nice benchmark here. And that is the fastest lap I actually managed to do, and I go 9th fastest, so I'm into Q3 for the 2nd time ever, I believe. You might see the entire lap here as well. Or near enough. As we come down the 2nd to last final straight, entering the last chicane. Hit it with some speed, get a nice exit, DRS open again, predict where we're going to finish. It's not the fastest lap, it's actually slower than our Q2 lap, but we do start in 9th position due to Sergio Perez having an absolute error here. To the race. Yes!
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Ricciardo, Lewis, Perez and Lando Norris, Kvyat, Ocon, Kimi Raikkonen and Sainz, Grosjean, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi and Pierre Gasly. Magnussen, Schumacher, Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
And Mick's in 20th. Again, the only people he beats, it seems, is the Williams. Mick's got to up his game, really. If I'm getting into the top 10, he's got to at least get into like 15th. But he seems to just be running in last. It's about to go lights out here. And off we go off the starting grid, and we get a really decent start, actually. Albon looks like he was going to go slow there, and he just picked up the pace immediately. We just want to get ahead of Ricciardo, just off the line, and we have gained a place. Now, we were starting 99th, I think, in 8th there, he said, because of somebody's, I forgot who it is already now, somebody had an engine penalty. Oh, nearly up the backside of Leclerc there. Got a decent start there. Me and the Renault looking... See why I said poor man's Renault? The Renault just looks cleaner than us. But it's okay. I don't want to become Renault. I want to become better than Renault. Although I'll take Fernando Alonso's Renault. They were pretty damn good. But yeah, so we're going to start the first lap. Get a good start. Gain a place. Now we're battling. The only people ahead of us, as you can see, is the Ferraris, the Red Bulls and the Mercedes. We are the best of the rest right now. So if we could hold this... You know I'd be happy with that. But I'm never going to just hold it, am I? I'm going to race my bollocks off and see if I can get an advantage on any of them. But you can already see Leclerc pulling away. So he's going to have to start making a mistake. Or, as you can see, we do the massive dive. As I said, they go slow around that corner. I'm going to take full advantage of that, as that was a massive half-a-second bomb. Look at this dive. He just brakes so early. And I just go, oh, thank you very much. Just start that car ahead. Nearly clip Albon, and I get great traction and pull away nicely, and Leclerc's not even up my gearbox yet, and now I'm getting the slipstream of Albon here. He goes defensive already. I've got my ERS open, and we go late on the brakes, cut the corner, should have got a warning there, but I didn't, and we're ahead of Albon as well. Those two corners, this section of the track, the computer is actually quite slow on, the AI rather. Side by side, great racing with Albon there. Albon gives me the space, kind of. He knows I've got the run off of the curb there, and I use it to my full advantage as we start the end of lap 2 here. And we're still in 5th. Albon is now 1.3 seconds behind. Now, it is, you'll see throughout the race now, it is due completely to 3 corners in this race. The hairpin, the chicane at the end, and the fast right-hander. I think it's turn 4, I want to say. As we set a purple sector 3 there, and we start gaining on Max Verstappen in the other Red Bull. That corner there, this opening corner, the first corner, is, or is it actually turn 2, I guess? Left is turn 1, turn right, yeah. So turn 2, they're slow round it, and you can just kind of cruise around in second or third, with high revs, not 10,000 revs or something, 10,000 RPM, and they just go slow for some reason. I think 100% AI plus on this would give you a run for your money around those corners, but below that they've got to give you, I guess, a room to gain like this. You can just see I'm all up the backside of Verstappen. We get great exit here. He gets a better one, but now we've got ERS. We're going to use it. We don't need to. we're going to do a Max Verstappen on a Max Verstappen. We're going to go so aggressive around that chicane, and we just butt him out of the way. Thank you very much, Mr. Dutchman. It's ironic I do the same kind of moves he does to people, but on him. If it was in real life, there's a 50-50 chance my wheel would blow up though. Something would happen. Max normally spins from those. His elbows out if someone gives him the elbow back. it's a 360. You gotta love Max for it. And now we're sitting comfortably in 4th. The only people ahead of us are the big boys on the mediums. So when I say the big boys, I mean I've already passed loads of the big boys. 2 Mercs and Vettel in the Ferrari. I'm waiting for the update to come in where the Ferrari is actually slower than the Racing Point in real life right now. It's ironic as well that the fastest car to the Mercedes in real life right now is last year's Mercedes, it seems. It's just they don't have the driver standard to do anything with it, I guess. Lance Stroll is not kind of... He's actually quite good. I think people give him a hard time for it, but I rate Lance. I don't rate him as high as I rate Sergio. But he is better than people think. Just because he's been bought in, people think he's automatically rubbish. Not true. Not true at all. You don't win his junior record with bad statistics and bad racing and bad IQ. He's a quality driver. As you can see there, all our parts are worn up. And I believe this is the final race before I start actually changing them up. I'm taking some penalties, I think, in future races. As you can see, Verstappen is caught back up to me now. And Albon and Verstappen are helping me out here by fighting between them. So by the end of lap 6 here, I'm waiting for the pit stop now. My tyres are getting a bit shredded. Albon and Verstappen are fighting between them. So it gives me the little half a second breathing room where I can just not get overtaken by them. There's a great shot as you see all the fire in the brake discs there. And we're waiting until we switch tyres before we start using our rich mix as well. I believe this is the lap as well. I tried to save as much ERS as I could, so I could pump it on the final lap before the pit stop. I believe pit stop is the end of this one. Where we're obviously going to slice onto the medium tyres for the final 9 laps or whatever it is. 8 laps. 10 laps, whatever. No, 10 laps, isn't it? Yeah. My maths has never been more cruelly. Launch ourselves into the pit here, and we're still in front of Albon. I still don't know how my car just suits this track, I guess, but the bigger boys not doing their job as AI. As you can see, my Bumblebee car, but the red suited the Ferrari lookalikes in my pits. The armpits there. Latifi's ahead of me. That's not good. Everyone else needs to make some stops. If you're on the soft, I think the next lap will be the last time. But I don't want to wait that long to sit behind Latifi and Schumacher. As you can see there, I want to get past them ASAP. So I'm going to rich mix on, as you see here, flat out. Right up the gearbox of Latifi. You can see I've got DRS now. Coming up down the straight. I've got 60% ERS as well. Saving that for some bigger fish than Latifi. But I am getting hungry for Latifi as I make quite a hefty dive down there. He breaks early. He's not going to fight me. He knows I'm ahead of him this race. I'm in the top 10, baby. At 9, we start setting personal bests. We're starting going fast now. Rich mix is on. We're going to be using the ERS. But Verstappen's having a little bite back. We're fighting Verstappen. Even down to lap 9, we're still in with the Red Bulls. Red Bulls and Leclerc. Don't forget about Leclerc as well. He's right there in front of Albon at the moment. The Red Bulls are going quick down the straights really fast. We've got the same engine. They just obviously developed it a lot further than I have. Same Honda power in both of our cars. Really enjoying this race as well. It's a really fun track. It's super fast. As we hit that hairpin, just missed the apex, but we'll have enough drive out. We're down to lap 10 now. Bottas has got the fastest lap. He's 7.5 seconds, so I think it's safe to say we're not going to catch him. Verstappen is 2 seconds behind us. That's not... As long as we don't make any mistakes, I think we're all good here, and we're in 4th. And at this stage, I'm like, okay, setting a purple sector 1, we're doing really well. If the AI's engine blows up in Vettel, Hamilton, or Bottas, we're on the podium again. That could genuinely happen. A lot of drivers have just had their engines go. There's no reason it can't be the top boys. I believe Hamilton's had it this season, and Bottas. I don't think Vettel has, but those two definitely have had at least once. We're running out of fuel here as well on the rich mix, so we're going to have to knock it back down to standard soon. I believe Jeff's been on the radio saying, hey, turn your thing down. Some part of our engine's going to blow up if you keep it up there. You can see here, purple sector 1, personal best sector 2. Can we set the fastest lap of the race in the old Norton? Norton in the Norton, can he do it? Crosses the line. And he does. He's half a second quicker. We get a 14.4 and we come out, Vettel and Hamilton just come out ahead of us by half a second. Half a second. We could have been in the podiums there fighting them back, but as you can see here, Vettel just storms away. We are no match for his Ferrari power, and we accidentally hit the wall on turn 13, and that really brings in a lot of understeer. It doesn't take a lot to hit the wall on that part. I believe last year, when Vettel hit the grass, he nearly made Hamilton hit the wall there as well. But he didn't. He's a better driver than I am, obviously. But I couldn't hold that off there. I came in with too much power. We just check on Schumacher, see how far ahead he is right now. He's I believe he's second to last or third to last. Ahead of a Williams and ahead of an Alfa or a Haas. He's normally ahead of Grosjean, Latifi. Those are the boys. Normally behind Russell. He's just fighting at the back of the pack. Searching for pride not to come last, but he is what he is, isn't he, until we upgrade him a bit more. It might take a few seasons for these F2 drivers to get good. Even Latifi's really low rated as it's his first trip into Formula 1, as we make an error there across the grass, not too dissimilar to Vettel's last year in real life. And you can see Verstappen and Albon are within half a second of me. 2 cars here, and they're going to prove it down this absolute blistering straight here. You can see Verstappen goes ahead, tries to get past me, and Albon locks the front wheels, has to brake checks me, I hit the back of him. Are you serious? Are you actually serious? Now I have the other half of my wing damaged, and turning is going to be a real issue here. I was having such a good race. Albon had no right to do that and block me off, and he locks up in front of me, has to sharply brake. I can't brake that fast. And as we make a lovely dive back down Albon, we nearly turned Verstappen on his side there. Wheel to wheel, just push him sideways. I wish I had, to be honest. I've already got damage to my car, probably would have got a penalty for that. But Albon's too fast, and he's even going to get Verstappen down here. We're going to try and get Verstappen back mega late on the brakes there. Just push right in front of him. And Verstappen seems to have slowed right down. You'll see Albon just cruise past me like I'm nothing. Then he gets Verstappen like he's nothing. I go full defensive against Verstappen. Verstappen just locks the wheel, spins, or slides it. As you see here, he's like, oh, got to back out, and he just slides on the curb. Gets stuck in second gear for a bit too long. So we managed to hold off that position. We're in P5. Okay, P5. It's really hard to turn this car now. There's no point boxing because we've got a few laps to go. And we're safe in the top 10 even with a badly damaged car, to be honest. You can see the train of people behind Verstappen now. Leclerc, I believe that's Sainz, Ricciardo. And then it'll be one of the AlphaTauris, I think. As you see, Romain Grosjean here with an engine failure as well. That's what I mean. So many drivers just come out in this game at the moment with engine failures. Grosjean just pulled it off to the side for us. So we're into lap 16 here. You can see Leclerc has now got past Verstappen. Leclerc was obviously being held up. So difficult to turn this fast chicane now, so I'm losing a second every time I go through there. Leclerc is all over my gearbox. He goes down the outside, but as you know, they brake so early. I slot it nicely in defensive mode, get a nice little drive out, and I'm safe for the second. I push him back to half a second behind me. Even though he's in a Ferrari, he just goes slow around that hairpin. As we're about to enter lap 17, and I'm in full defensive mode, trying to hold off one of the best positions I can have. More than better than the rest. I'm better than 2 of the best big boys as well, in 5th position. I'll take beating Leclerc and Verstappen every day. As Verstappen's won races on this season's F1 as well. I think Leclerc's have been on the podium, but I don't think he's won any. He's got a yellow flag there as we drive past Grosjean. You can see how difficult and slow and sluggish it is to turn this car now, just due to that broken wing, due to Albon being an absolute bellend and locking up in front of me. He should have had a penalty for that in my opinion, but what are you going to do? As Leclerc having a little sniff around my bum there. Verstappen's having a sniff as well. But we're going to go, ooh, squeeze, hit Leclerc. He backs off. And I just go, oh, cut the curb then. I'll take the position back, thank you very much. It didn't seem like I was going to get in trouble for it. He kind of forced me there. But he took an inside line. He took the full defensive line and then randomly just cut across and took the racing line again. And it's like, hang on a second, where am I meant to go then? So I think the game was fully accepting my my reasoning for cutting the curb there and taking that spot back. It was a bit unfair from Leclerc. I think so anyway, but I'm going to use all that ERS now to just save this fifth place spot. I do not want to lose out here. It's losing so much time around these fast corners now. The slow ones aren't so bad, but we're trying to just push Leclerc back. He's a second behind. You know he's going to gain back a second, so it's all about just positioning this car correctly now, as we're losing so much time around these corners. We enter the last lap. We have a little overtake mode. We're just trying to save it for the actual long straights, so I can actually try and defend against Leclerc. As you can see, there you go. He's gained more than half a second, a full second off of that corner. As I said, the fast sections are so important in Canada. I need my front wing. This isn't a slow track where you can just do hairpin after hairpin. This is so ridiculous. As Leclerc takes me, I go back down the inside, full defensive, and we are 3 corners away from retaining 5th position. He's slow round the hairpin. We go defensive again, hit the apex, kind of. Lewis Hamilton wins. Of course he wins. He's always winning. Followed by Bottas and Vettel. The Mercedes are just unbelievable in real life and the game. Maybe I'll try and sign for them. I'll leave Norton, sell Norton, buy my way into a Mercedes car and just start winning. Come down the second to final straight, I guess. No DRS, obviously. We're going to get passed by Leclerc. There is no way we can defensively get back at him at this point. As you can say, Verstappen's there. He's poking a nose. We hit the final chicane. Is that enough for 6th place? Is it enough? Is it enough? On the flipping line. 7th. Unbelievable. Tell me what you guys think and whether that was a bit harsh. Drove my balls off for that race, but not good enough, eh? Lance Stroll driver of the day. Get lost. We'll see about that, hey?
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So Hamilton wins, followed by Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, Albon, Leclerc and Verstappen. Look at the difference in split time. It's 1,000th of a second. Ricardo, Norris and Kvyat. I'm glad AlphaTauri got on there. Mick didn't come last. He did beat Latifi, which is great. We beat Norris 4-2 in the opening rival race, which is actually really good news. In that Bumblebee Orvine suit there. Gained some nice acclaim as well for the team and personally. I've overtaken Mick now in acclaim. I'm still gutted about that. I got 7th. I would bite your hand off for 7th, but when it happens, 300k is well bagged there. But if you have liked this video, guys, smash that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel, comment below, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.